Before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how people try to fix every health problem with the latest trend? Like bone broth? Somewhere along the way, it became this magical solution for everything from gut healing to anti-aging to building muscle. You see it everywhere on wellness blogs, on TikTok, in celebrity interviews. It's become such a buzzword that people are spending insane amounts of money on jars of bone broth, drinking it like it's some miracle potion. But what if I told you that bone broth is one of the most overrated so-called health foods, especially when it comes to building muscle? What if I told you that the real foods that fight muscle loss, what's actually effective for preventing sarcopenia, are completely different from what people are obsessing over? And what if Dr. Barbara O'Neill, one of the clearest voices in natural health, explains that bone broth doesn't even come close to the real muscle-building fuel your body actually needs? Stick with me, because today I'm going to break down the real story behind bone broth, aging muscles, and the foods that actually rebuild strength from the inside out. And trust me, if you're over 30, 40, 50, or beyond, knowing this might save your muscles, your mobility, and your independence as you age. And even if you're younger, this information is the kind of thing that sets you up for long-term strength for life. Let's get into it. So let's start by calling this out. Bone broth is overrated. I know people love it. It's warm, it's comforting, it feels like a healing food, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying it. But when people claim that bone broth builds muscle, repairs tissue, reverses aging, or replaces real protein, they're missing a huge part of the story. Dr. Barbara O'Neill says something very simple that most people forget. Your muscles need amino acids, complete amino acids. Bone broth just doesn't deliver what you think it does. Not in the amounts required. Not in the quality required. Bone broth is mostly collagen, broken down into gelatin, and gelatin is basically low-value protein when it comes to building actual muscle fibers. Your body can't use most of those amino acids to rebuild skeletal muscle. It's like trying to build a solid brick house using sand. You can scoop it, mix it, pat it together, but it's not going to give you structure. That's exactly how bone broth works. Nice to sip. Not so nice when you're trying to fight muscle loss. Now, let's talk about sarcopenia, because this is where the conversation really gets serious. Sarcopenia is the gradual loss of muscle mass that happens with age. But the part most people don't realize is that sarcopenia doesn't start in your 60s or 70s. It starts in your 30s. Right now, quietly, slowly, but constantly. You don't wake up one day, suddenly weak. You lose 0.5% to 1% of muscle every single year after your 30s. If you're not actively doing something about it, and by the time you're 60 or 70, that adds up to major loss of strength, loss of metabolism, loss of balance, loss of confidence. This isn't just about wanting toned arms or a six. This is about being able to lift your own groceries, climb stairs, get out of a chair without help. It's about protecting your spine, your joints, and even your brain health. Because the more muscle you have, the better your overall physical resilience. Here's where the myth gets dangerous. People think they're fighting sarcopenia by drinking bone broth. They think a warm cup of broth replaces the need for high-quality protein and targeted nutrition. But your body doesn't work on trends. It works on biology, and the biology is clear. If you want to build muscle or stop muscle loss, you need complete proteins, not just collagen fragments floating in broth. Dr. Barbara O'Neill talks about this all the time. Protein quality matters, not just grams, not just quantity, quality. Amino acid profile, digestibility. Your muscle fibers need leucine. They need they need valine. They need methionine and lysine. They need the full list of essential amino acids, the ones your body cannot make on its own. And guess what? Bone broth is missing most of them. So what actually builds muscle mass? Let's talk about the foods that give your muscles the raw materials they need. And these might surprise you because they're simple. They're accessible. They're not trendy. They're not expensive. They're natural, whole, and real. Foods like eggs, yes, packed with all essential amino acids, highly bioavailable, and rich in choline and healthy fats that support muscle function and repair. Eggs are basically one of the perfect muscle-building foods on the planet. Then we have legumes, lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans. These foods don't get enough attention, but they carry an incredible amount of plant protein paired with fiber, minerals, and nutrients that support repair. Dr. O'Neill emphasizes this all the time. Simple. Natural foods rebuild the body better than processed powders or packaged superfoods. Another big one is nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds. These aren't just healthy snacks, they're little muscle repair factories. They carry magnesium, which your muscles desperately need. They carry healthy fats that help reduce inflammation. They carry amino acids that actually contribute to muscle growth, instead of just providing empty protein like collagen does. And we can't forget cottage cheese, yogurt, or other high-quality dairy if you tolerate it. Dr. O'Neill always highlights the enzymes and probiotics in whole real foods that support digestion, absorption, and utilization of nutrients. Because building muscle isn't just about eating protein. It's about absorbing it, using it, and converting it into new tissue. If your gut is inflamed or sluggish, you could be eating all the protein you want, but your muscles won't receive the benefits. Now let's dig into how the muscle repair process actually works. Because once you understand this, you'll never look at bone broth the same way again. According to Dr. O'Neill, your muscles are constantly breaking down and rebuilding themselves. Every time you move, lift, climb, even stand up, tiny micro tears happen in your muscle fibers. And that's a good thing. That's how the body stays strong. But in order for those tears to repair and rebuild stronger, your body needs amino acids like a construction crew needs bricks and cement. And if the supply is incomplete or poor quality, the repair process is slow, weak, or incomplete. Collagen doesn't give your muscles the building blocks they need. It gives your skin and connective tissue some support, sure, but not your skeletal muscle. The amino acids in real muscle-building foods trigger something called muscle protein synthesis. That's the process that stops sarcopenia in its tracks. And one amino acid is particularly powerful: leucine. Leucine tells your body, hey, we've got the resources we need. Start rebuilding muscle now. You get leucine from eggs, dairy, beans, meat, fish, nuts, not from bone broth. And without leucine, you can drink bone broth all day, and your muscles still won't get the signal to rebuild. Now, something a lot of people overlook is inflammation. Chronic inflammation weakens muscles. It reduces recovery. It makes your joints stiff and tight, and it can slow down the repair process. That's why Dr. O'Neill emphasizes natural anti-inflammatory foods as part of a muscle-supportive diet. Foods like turmeric, ginger, leafy greens, berries, flaxseed, walnuts. These foods calm the internal fires that can block muscle growth. When inflammation is high, your muscles stay in breakdown mode. When inflammation is low, your muscles shift into repair mode. It's a huge difference. Another important piece of the puzzle is hydration and electrolytes. This is something people underestimate. We always think of muscles as these firm, strong tissues, but muscles are actually about 75% water. That means even minor dehydration affects strength, flexibility, and recovery. You've probably experienced this tightness, cramps, stiffness. That's not age. That's your muscles begging for hydration and minerals. Dr. O'Neill often talks about sodium, potassium, magnesium, simple minerals that your body needs to keep muscle cells firing properly. Without electrolytes, your muscles can't contract fully or relax properly. And the problem gets worse with age. Older adults absorb less, crave less, and drink less. So hydration becomes a major factor in preventing sarcopenia, something as simple as drinking clean water throughout the day. And adding mineral-rich foods can dramatically improve muscle function. So what should your daily diet actually look like if you want to prevent or reverse sarcopenia? Dr. O'Neill keeps things simple. Whole foods, balanced meals, natural sources of protein, minerals, and healthy fats. Start your day with something that delivers complete protein. Eggs are great. Cottage cheese is great. Even a bowl of oats with nuts and seeds plus some yogurt can give your muscles the nourishment they need. For lunch, focus on legumes, vegetables, maybe some fish or chicken if you eat animal foods. Dinner can be similar, balanced, natural, whole. And throughout the day, stay hydrated. Keep inflammation low. Keep your meals simple and nutrient-rich. And here's something important to remember. Muscle isn't built inside the gym. Muscle is built in the kitchen and repaired while you rest. Exercise creates the stimulus. Food creates the rebuilding. Rest creates the result. This is why diet is a key factor in defeating sarcopenia. You can do all the exercise you want, but if you aren't feeding your muscles correctly, they're not going to grow. Let me also say this. You don't need expensive powders, supplements, collagen drinks, trendy broths, or fancy packaged foods. Dr. O'Neill always says the body heals with what's natural. The foods that truly support muscle growth are basic, affordable, accessible, and they've been around forever. You don't need bone broth shipped from a celebrity brand. You don't need collagen peptides in pretty containers. You need real foods: eggs, beans, nuts, seeds, greens, whole grains, clean proteins, and plenty of minerals and hydration. If you want to take one thing from this entire video, it's this. Bone broth is not a muscle-building food. It never was. Yes, you can enjoy it if you like the taste, but don't rely on it to protect your muscles or prevent aging. Your body needs real amino acids, real nutrients, real fuel. Sarcopenia is not something to ignore. It's something to fight with knowledge, intention, and smart nutrition. So what's the takeaway? Stay strong at every age by giving your muscles the raw materials they need. Complete proteins, anti-inflammatory foods, minerals, hydration, real nourishment. And remember this, your muscle health is your independence, your mobility, your confidence. If you nourish your muscles, they'll carry you powerfully through every chapter of life. And you deserve to feel strong today, tomorrow, and decades from now. That's the truth behind bone broth, behind muscle loss, and behind what really builds a strong body. If you found this eye-opening, drop a comment, share it with a friend who's obsessed with bone broth, and let's keep building a healthier, stronger community together.